4, 3, 2, 1. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I got a lot of things to share with the recent news of Matic and some things with Vechain, so I'm going to try to get this under 10 minutes. So let's start off with Matic Network. All right, so a lot of us are talking about Coinbase, and we're talking about staking, which, hey, listen, that is a very, very big deal, talking about Matic staking. I've been looking at some of the charts. I've been talking to some people. Be on the lookout for that, okay? But I'm not going to touch on staking right now for Matic Network. And again, it's a lot of wonderful things that caught a lot of people's attention when it comes to Matic Network. But this recent news, and of course I'm going to get into Vechain, but this recent news with Matic, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct, Infosys, is really, really, really big. See, a lot of us, when we're talking, again, how I started this video, we were talking about Matic and staking, again, very important. And, you know, the possibilities of Coinbase, which I, in my opinion, believe that's a done deal. And all these things that are happening around Matic, okay? But when you start to see a partnership of this magnitude, and a lot of us on this side of the region really don't understand, but when we're talking about a tech giant listed on the New York Stock Exchange, a net of 40 billion, a global company, yet they're out of India and deeply rooted in India. We know that Matic is deeply rooted in India, and they're trying to get blockchain mass adopted globally. But as many of you have heard this phrase before, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Now let me tell you that India is a big part of that elephant, all right? Listen, I want you to understand what's going on here, okay? Specifically with India. Remember when I would talk about Vechain in China? And I'm going to talk about this more when we get into the topic of Vechain. But right now, there's a race for India. There is a race for India. In fact, I was talking to a really, really smart individual, and he knows who he is. I'm not going to mention his name, and he's very close to Vechain. And we were talking about India, and we even got into a discussion about Matic. And to make a long story short, we got to the point where we both understand that India is a really, really hot market, okay? It's a hot market. Look at what Coinbase recently just did. Look at Binance, and let me just stop here because people might not understand what I mentioned about Coinbase. Coinbase investing into Coin, DCX, a big exchange in India, and then Binance with WazirX. They get it. They understand. Then you can understand the ties of Matic with Binance. You can understand the ties of Matic with Coinbase. Matic Network, in my strong opinion, and if you put the pieces together and you talk to the right people, you can understand that Matic is the gatekeeper of when it comes to cryptos in India, all right? And now you're solidifying yourself with a tech giant that is deeply rooted in India and globally known with Infosys. This is now a major, major crypto. This is not just your, oh, it's Matic Network, Coinbase, Binance. No. This is now when you talk about Matic, okay? And for most of us, we already knew this, but I'm trying to get this message out where people can understand, especially for those of you who understand the Vechain, in the Vechain community, that the way I talk about Vechain, this is not just your ordinary crypto. This, in talking about Matic now, is a serious blockchain business, and has the leverage, has the ability to do heavy damage. And when I say damage, I mean that in a great way, in a productive, ambitious way for blockchain and moving forward and taking over India when it comes to cryptos and all these developments that are going to happen in India. And Matic is going to be again, the word I use is the gatekeeper. And what comes with this is governments and things of that nature. This is a top tier crypto. Let me repeat this again. Matic Network is a top tier crypto, and it's a real legitimate blockchain business that everyone who's excited about crypto and wants to have that one that's special should really, really pay attention. And I'm talking about Matic Network. All right. Listen, there's top tier cryptos. To me, Vechain is a top tier crypto. Ethereum is a top tier crypto. Matic Network is a top tier crypto. Tezos is a top tier crypto. These are top tier crypto. And the one that people are not really talking about, Reserve Protocol, it's one of those that you really got to keep your eyes on. But let me stick to Matic. I apologize. I go all over the place here. Again, I want you to understand this partnership has really solidified a lot of the question marks that you might think, well, is this just a little pump, from a Coinbase? No, Coinbase is just another thing added to it. You understand? Another thing to look at, okay? I want you to understand this. Partnerships just don't happen overnight. It's not like, hey, Infosys, you want to be my partner? You want to collaborate? All right, we'll talk about this next week. No. This takes time and preparation, months and years. All right, so it's not something that just happened. You understand? And there's more things, and this will open up more doors for more enterprises. That has been clearly stated to me that's a main objective from the Matic Network team. And they again reaffirmed it by mentioning it on the partnership of Infosys, that there's more news to come when it comes to enterprise collaborations. Again, I want you to understand, us talking about partnerships, listen, you just don't get a Coinbase Ventures backing. You understand? They have to see what you're doing, right? So, again, use your mind. Partnerships just don't happen overnight, okay? So, just in these things, this is what allows you to see why certain individuals invest into a project right at the moment, because they can see already, they have the vision, and they can see, wow, you're connected with this and you're connected with that, and Binance can see it. And what's going on here is there's a race for India. Okay, there's a race for India, and the recent news of the ban being lifted. Again, guys, listen, start connecting the dots. Okay, and as I'm about to talk about Vechain, and as you remember back in the day when I was talking about Vechain, keep your eyes on China. Now I'm telling you, keep your eyes on India, and especially knowing that Matic Network is the gatekeeper, okay, and well connected. And I'm not trying to say that they're above all these cryptocurrency projects, but I will tell you this: they're deeply connected with all the crypto projects in India, the exchanges, and you see Coinbase going after CoinDCX, you see Binance after WazirX. This is really, really big, and I really want you to really understand it, okay? Now let's shift into Vechain. For those of you who remember me talking about Vechain, what did I always say? Keep your eyes on China. Keep your eyes on China. Now, you see Bayer China. Now, I'm not just saying that Vechain is just targeting China. I'm not just saying that. All right, and we're going to get into what's really cooking in that kitchen. All right. Of course, we're talking about what Jason Rockwood just put out on Twitter, and a lot of Vechain community members and people that are excited about Vechain are talking about. And we know that Jason Rockwood represents North America, so we know there has to be something happening in this side of the region. But I want to stay here first with the recent news of Bayer China. And again, these things just don't happen. Okay, now, with the COVID-19, a lot of things are accelerated, and a lot of news and a lot of developments are going to happen faster, which the silver lining with all these crazy things that have happened when it comes to COVID is just going to push and accelerate blockchain and specific things that are tied in to cryptos that are utilizing it to advance and help and be of great assistance when it comes to things like a COVID and things of that nature. But with that being said, again, listen, Bayer China, DHL Asia, DHL China, Walmart China, you start to see here, there is a monopoly happening, and it's a blockchain monopoly, and the main cog is Vechain. Okay, now let's talk about some investors. I can tell you that Jim Breyer has a lot of connections when it comes to China, right? Tim Draper, when it comes to China. These things are showing you something here, okay? That it's deeper than what you really, really think. It's really, really deep, okay? We're talking about a monster here that people are not really understanding, that these connections just don't happen. These government connections just don't happen. You understand? Okay, so when you start connecting these dots, okay, and moving forward, that's why the bullish fundamentals when it comes to Vechain is just so explosive that I don't understand how people are missing it. Yes, there could be a lot of talks about prices and why this happened and why that dumped and blah, blah, blah. But when you get past the BS, when you get past the nonsense and you look at what they're really doing and what they're really accomplishing, for me, this is one of those that gives me comfort when it comes to blockchain when it comes to investing into something. There's a lot of people who like to speak nonsense. They got burned. They don't understand how things happen, on the crypto side. And then, Vechain is a shitcoin and blah, 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 and all this nonsense, right? Guys, this is a top tier crypto. This is a legitimate blockchain business. They are doing real big things. Again, we add another one, which is Bear China. Come on, guys. Come on. It's just right there now. Jumping into what Jason Rockwood has mentioned, and again, he's representing Vechain in the North America front and talking about he's got something cooking in the kitchen. Remember, the appetizers come out before the entrees, so something really juicy is coming out. I'm expecting June news. I'm expecting DNVGL news to be coming out. So Vechain is one of those that, again, in this altcoin bull market that will take place, in my opinion. Okay, another thing to look at, after the Bitcoin halving, that's when I start getting excited. I recently put this out on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're in that season. All right. I wasn't too excited about, prices and movements that, back then, until the season, right? There's a season to plant, and you can still be planting. You can still be planting, believe me, because what I expect to happen, and when it comes to prices, talking about cryptos, separating the business side of it, but when it comes to prices, all right, cryptocurrency prices, I expect great special returns on investment. Not financial advice, just my opinion, okay? I've been here before. I've seen this happen. I look at a lot of different charts. I look at a lot of different things. It usually takes within 50 to 100 days after the halving. Be on the lookout for next May. Look at the difference of prices from this May of 2020 to next May of 2021. And moving forward, I've already given a lot of you my time of this bull market when it comes to the window that we're in. But back to Vechain, this is really exciting. There's a lot of news that's going to be coming out when it comes to Vechain. Again, one thing that we have to understand, okay? And I know we kind of get numb to it when it comes to Vechain, and some people make it seem, well, the price doesn't move. Hey, you're in a bear market, all right? You're in a bear market. But when all these things happen, right, and all these things start to come to light of all these developments that Vechain is a part of in a bull market, this is when it really gets, the word I use for price is violent, okay? Violent. So it's not one of those that you just want to disregard. And again, I'm talking about cryptocurrency prices. Vechain, the business, has always been bullish. Bullish. You see the news. You see the updates, the partnerships, has always been bullish. Now is when a bull market takes place and all those bullish fundamentals start coming in and seeping in to the cryptocurrency prices. And then you start to see the violent move towards the special great returns on investment. One of those that, again, I never suggest to anyone to buy a cryptocurrency. The word I use is research, and I'll do it like this. I tell my family, I have certain family members who are invested in cryptocurrencies. When I saw Bitcoin at 3,000, 3,800, 3,700, I told them this. I go, listen, it is not only foolish, it is highly irresponsible to not get Bitcoin at these prices. Highly irresponsible, okay? We saw what it did. Went to 14,000, now we're fluctuating, okay? So when I tell my family members who are invested in crypto, I go, listen, don't touch your Vechain stack. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. This is one now where you've been invested. Now you allow the bull market to do what it's got to do, especially with all the bullish sentiment that was produced in a bear market. I'm not talking about the price. I'm talking about the partnerships, the things that were accomplished with Vechain. Now let that seep in when the bull market happens, and let the violence occur. And when I mean violence, guys, please don't take that out of context. I'm talking about price movement. I am very bullish on Vechain. I'm very bullish on Vechain. Of course, you guys know that already, and I'm very excited of the season we are in. All right, so I covered Matic and I covered Vechain. I'm telling you, I'll probably do a video of my top 4. And of course, I've mentioned SingularityNet, AGI, and I've mentioned other cryptos, but I'm going to get to my top 4. I've mentioned 5 recently, right? But I'm going to mention my top 4 cryptos. I'll probably do a video on that moving forward. Again, this video probably went past 10 minutes. I apologize, but there's too much to talk about. Anyways, till next time, you already know, stay blessed, be blessed. Let's go!